Your cat is sitting on the table. You make eye contact, and then, with the focus of a tiny assassin, it reaches out one paw and pushes your glass of water right off the edge. We tend to read this like a human interaction. When a person shoves your phone off a desk, they're being rude or maybe vindictive. Our brains fill in the blanks the human way, assuming there's a personal attitude behind the gesture. It is easy to assume they are bored or simply hungry. But even a well-fed, deeply pampered cat with a basket of toys will still choose the edge of your table as its battlefield. This isn't malice, it's an ancient biological program. It's a sequence that was wired into the feline brain thousands of years before cats ever stepped onto a carpet. But the instinct is only one part of the puzzle. There is a second engine driving the chaos, one that involves your own behavior more than you might want to admit. Think of the cat's biological drive as the hardware. This is the predatory motor sequence: stalk, pounce, bat, and capture. It is the same routine a wildcat uses on a beetle in the grass or a mouse in a field. The edge of a table turns an everyday object into a puzzle. A glass in the center of the table just sits there, but a glass at the edge reacts. One light tap makes it wobble or slide. To a hunting brain, an object that responds to a paw the way prey responds to a swipe is irresistible. In a cat's brain, the drive to hunt and the drive to eat run on separate tracks. A full stomach doesn't switch off the predatory program. The sight of something small and tappable is enough to trigger the sequence, regardless of when the cat last ate. This drive relies on novelty. When a cat plays with the same toy every day, they eventually habituate. The object becomes dead to them. It stops providing the unpredictable movement required to keep the hunting mind engaged. Your table talk, however, offer a daily rotation of new targets. A fresh set of keys, a different pen, or a phone that buzzes. Every morning, the table offers a new lineup of unfamiliar, tappable, and unpredictable prey. When the object finally hits the floor, the resulting crash provides a final sensory payoff. For a predator, a big reaction from a target is a sign of success. That shattering mug is simply the thud of a job well done. While the hardware provides the urge, the software provides the strategy. Cats are constant observers of cause and effect, running little experiments on their environment to see what produces a result. Consider what happens the moment you hear that crash. You rush into the room. You say the cat's name. You make eye contact. You are now fully focused on your cat. From our perspective, we are scolding them. But from the cat's perspective, a single action just summoned a distracted human and forced them to engage. They have successfully triggered the one thing they crave: your attention. Cats do not distinguish between good and bad attention the way we do. Whether you are cooing or hissing no, you are still looking at them. You are still present and engaged because of something they chose to do. This creates a shortcut. The cat learns that the table clearing trick is a reliable button that summons you on command. Every time you rush in to stop the behavior, you are actually validating it. Now these two engines run together: an ancient hunting drive that makes ACAs irresistible, and a learned strategy that uses your reaction as a reward. An indoor cat is essentially a predator living in a world with no prey. The instinct doesn't go away, it builds up. A cat with a full tank of hunting energy will eventually find its own targets, and your tabletop is the most convenient hunting ground in the house. To manage the hardware, you have to provide a dedicated outlet for the hunt. Short sessions with a wand toy, something that moves and hides like real prey, allows the cat to complete its pounce and capture cycle in a way that feels satisfying. To prevent habituation, you must rotate these toys and put them away between sessions so they remain alive. Puzzle feeders also help, turning a boring meal into a job for a predatory mind. When the hunting drive is directed into these proper outlets, there is less energy left for the objects on your counter. Fixing the software is more difficult because it requires changing your own habits. You have to stop rewarding the behavior with your presence. When an object falls, the most effective response is no response. No eye contact, no yelling, and no rushing in. If the behavior stops getting a result, the cat eventually stops trying. Instead, focus your attention on the cat when it is calm. By offering affection and engagement when they are resting quietly, you teach a new rule. Stillness gets the human. chaos gets nothing. Understanding these two systems changes how you see the mess. Your cat isn't being a jerk. It is a predator doing exactly what its body was built for in an environment it has learned to navigate. This is feline nature decoded. Once you understand the hunt, that paw on the edge of the glass looks less like an insult and more like an invitation to play. Drop a comment and tell me what your cat's signature move is, the slow push or the full arm sweep. I'll see you in the next one.